Imagine this. You're driving to work, and someone rudely cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, your heart races, frustration rises, and you feel the urge to honk or curse under your breath. But what if, instead of reacting, you simply observe the situation without emotional disturbance? What if you recognized that this moment, like all others, only has the power over you that you give it? This is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to remain unshaken no matter what happens around you. Anger and frustration aren't caused by external events, but by how we interpret them. The Stoics knew that true strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering our own reactions. In this video, we'll break down 10 Stoic principles to help you stay calm and in control. By mastering these principles, you'll develop the ability to remain unbothered, no matter what life throws your way. Now, let's dive in. 1. Your reactions are your choice. You're walking down the street, and a stranger yells something rude at you. Instinctively, you feel anger bubbling up. Your body tenses, your mind races with comebacks. But then, you pause. You ask yourself, why should I let this person dictate my emotions? In that moment, you choose to walk away, unaffected. This is the power of emotional ownership, understanding that no one can control how you feel unless you let them. The Stoics taught that external events don't disturb us. Our perception of them does. When we react impulsively, we hand over our power. But when we step back and reframe the situation, we regain control. The key to mastering this lies in 3 practical steps. 1. Identify your triggers. Notice what situations consistently provoke a reaction in you. Is it criticism? Disrespect? Unfairness? Recognizing these patterns helps you anticipate your emotional responses before they take over. Second question. Your interpretation. Ask yourself, is this situation truly a threat? Or is it just my ego reacting? If someone insults you, does that actually change who you are? Most of the time, it's not the event itself that causes distress, but the meaning we attach to it. 3. Choose long-term peace over short-term reaction. Before reacting, take a deep breath and ask, will this matter in a day, a week, or a year? If the answer is no, it's not worth your energy. Respond only when necessary, and even then, do so with clarity, not emotion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you internalize this truth, you become untouchable. No insult, no rude stranger, no unexpected inconvenience can shake your inner peace, because you've already chosen not to let it. Second stop, expecting others to behave like you. Imagine you lend a friend money expecting they'll pay you back quickly, just as you would if the roles were reversed. Weeks pass, but they don't mention it. Frustration builds. You start questioning their character, their integrity. But pause for a moment. Was the problem their actions or your expectations? One of the greatest sources of frustration is assuming others think, act, and value things the same way we do. But people operate based on their own experiences, beliefs, and priorities. Expecting them to behave according to your standards is a guaranteed way to set yourself up for disappointment. The Stoics understood this well. They didn't waste energy trying to change others. They focused on what they could control, their own responses. Letting go of expectations isn't about lowering standards, it's about accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Here's how to practice this in daily life. 1. Acknowledge your assumptions. Every time you feel frustrated with someone, ask yourself, was I expecting them to act like me? Recognizing your own expectations is the first step to releasing them. 2. Challenge unrealistic standards. Is it reasonable to assume people will always be kind, fair, or reliable? Of course not. People act based on their own nature, not yours. Accepting this truth removes unnecessary suffering. 3rd shift. Focus to your response. Instead of resenting others for being who they are, adjust your approach. If someone consistently lets you down, rather than expecting them to change, set boundaries and adjust your expectations accordingly. As Epictetus said, when someone acts poorly toward you, remember that they are acting according to their own principles, not yours. When you stop expecting others to behave a certain way, you free yourself from frustration and gain the ability to navigate life with peace and clarity. 3rd, let go of the need to be right. Picture this. You're in the middle of a heated argument with a colleague. You know you're right, and you have all the facts to back it up. But no matter how much logic you throw at them, they refuse to see it your way. Your frustration grows, voices rise, and by the end of it, nothing has changed, except your mood, which is now ruined for the rest of the day. This is the trap of needing to be right. It's a battle of ego, not wisdom. The truth is, most arguments aren't about uncovering facts, they're about defending identities. People rarely change their minds just because they're presented with better reasoning. They dig in deeper. And so do you. The result? Wasted energy, unnecessary conflict, and a growing sense of frustration. A wiser approach is to pause before engaging and ask yourself, is proving my point worth my peace? The Stoics understood that not every battle is worth fighting. Marcus Aurelius advised, you always have the option of having no opinion. Sometimes the smartest response is silence. Here's how to master this in daily life. 1. Recognize when it's ego, not necessity. Are you arguing because the outcome truly matters, or because you just don't want to lose? If it's about pride, walk away. 2. Ask yourself, will this matter later? If the disagreement won't affect your life in a meaningful way a week, month, or year from now, why waste your energy? 3. Choose peace over control. You don't need to fix everyone's perspective. Instead of trying to win, seek understanding. Let others have their opinions, whether they're right or wrong, while you conserve your energy for things that truly matter. In the end, winning an argument means nothing if it costs you your peace. True strength lies in knowing when to let go, walk away, and focus on what actually brings value to your life. 4. Detach from others' words. Imagine you're at a family gathering and a relative casually comments, "You should be more successful by now." The words sting. For the rest of the evening, they echo in your mind. You replay the conversation, thinking of all the ways you could have responded. But why? What real power do those words hold? The truth is, they only have power because you allow them to. One of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is recognizing that your worth isn't defined by the opinions of others. People will always have something to say, sometimes out of concern, sometimes out of ignorance, and often out of their own insecurities. But their words don't change who you are. Lao Tzu once said, "Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner." When you let others' judgments dictate your emotions, you surrender control over your own peace. The Stoic way is to filter what deserves your attention and discard what doesn't. Here's how to do it. 1. Differentiate between criticism and noise. Not all feedback is bad. If someone offers constructive advice that can help you grow, accept it with gratitude. But if their words serve no purpose other than to tear you down, let them pass like the wind. 2. Ask yourself, does this opinion matter? Does this person truly understand your journey? Are they someone whose wisdom you respect? If not, why let their words occupy space in your mind? 3. Practice indifference. When someone insults you, visualize their words as meaningless sounds, like a dog barking or leaves rustling in the wind. These things happen, but they don't require a reaction. In the end, what people say about you is a reflection of them, not you. True confidence comes from within, not from external validation, but from knowing who you are and refusing to let others define your worth. 5. Set boundaries to protect your energy. Imagine this. A colleague frequently interrupts your workday to complain about their problems. At first, you listen out of politeness. But over time, these conversations drain your focus and energy. You want to set a boundary, but a voice in your head whispers, if you say no, they'll think you're rude. This is a trap many people fall into, the belief that setting boundaries is selfish. In reality, it's one of the most necessary acts of self-respect. The Stoics understood that your time and energy are limited resources. Every moment spent engaging in unnecessary drama is a moment lost from something meaningful. Saying no isn't a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of your priorities. How to set boundaries without guilt. 1. Be honest and direct. You don't need elaborate excuses. A simple, I can't help with that right now is enough. The more you over-explain, the more people will try to push your limits. 2. Use I statements. Instead of saying, you always make me feel exhausted, reframe it, I need to focus on my own work right now. This makes it clear that your boundary is about protecting your well-being, not attacking them. 3. Enforce consistently. Setting a boundary once is easy. Maintaining it is the real challenge. If you say you won't answer work emails after 8 p.m., but then you make an exception, people will expect you to bend again. Respect your own limits, and others will follow. Marcus Aurelius said, if you seek tranquility, do less. But doing less doesn't mean being inactive. It means being intentional. When you set boundaries, you free yourself from distractions, preserve your peace, and ensure that your energy is spent where it truly matters. 6. Silence is a powerful response. Imagine you're in a meeting and a colleague makes a passive-aggressive remark about your work. Everyone turns to see your reaction. You have two choices: fire back with a sharp response or simply hold your ground in silence. The first option may feel satisfying in the moment, but the second, choosing silence, demonstrates true control. Many people assume that silence is a sign of weakness, but in reality, it is a weapon of strength. The Stoics understood that not every insult, criticism, or provocation deserves a response. When you refuse to engage with negativity, you deny it the power to affect you. Why silence is more powerful than words? 1. It preserves your peace. Engaging in unnecessary conflict drains energy. When someone tries to provoke you, staying silent protects your emotional state. Instead of being dragged into arguments, You remain composed and in control. 2. It shifts the power dynamic. People who seek to provoke you often do so to gain control over your emotions. When you respond with silence, they are left unsettled. Your lack of reaction forces them to confront their own words and intentions. 3. It commands respect. The most respected individuals do not waste their breath on meaningless disputes. When you speak only when necessary, your words carry more weight. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. How to use silence strategically. Pause before reacting. Before responding to criticism or conflict, take a moment of silence. This prevents impulsive reactions and allows for thoughtful responses. Reserve words for when they matter. Not every battle is worth fighting. Speak only when your words will add value. Let actions speak for themselves. Silence, paired with self-assured action, is often the most powerful statement you can make. In a world where everyone rushes to react, the ability to remain silent is a mark of discipline and wisdom. By mastering the power of silence, you remain unmoved by negativity and focused on what truly matters. 7. Use gratitude to diffuse anger. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Every red light, every slow driver feels like a personal attack. Your frustration builds, and by the time you arrive, your mind is clouded with irritation. But what if, instead of fuming, you took a deep breath and focused on gratitude? Gratitude for the fact that you have a car, that you have a job to go to, that you're safe on the road. That shift in perspective doesn't change the situation, but it changes you. The Stoics believe that anger is often rooted in expectation, expecting the world to conform to our desires, expecting people to behave as we think they should. When reality doesn't align with these expectations, frustration arises. Gratitude, however, dissolves this frustration by shifting focus from what is lacking to what is already present. How gratitude transforms your mindset. It redirects energy from negativity to appreciation. When you practice gratitude, you stop fixating on problems and start acknowledging what is going well. Instead of resenting a tough boss, you can be grateful for the lessons in patience and resilience. Instead of dwelling on betrayal, you can be grateful for the clarity it gave you about someone's character. 2. It creates emotional distance from anger. Anger thrives on immediate reactions. Gratitude forces you to pause and see the bigger picture. If someone insults you, instead of responding with irritation, you can choose to be grateful for your ability to stay composed, an ability many lack. 3. It cultivates long-term resilience. The more you practice gratitude, the more you build emotional fortitude. Simple habits like keeping a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day, can train your mind to default to appreciation instead of frustration. Practical steps to apply gratitude. Reframe annoyances as opportunities for growth. Instead of getting angry at delays, see them as chances to practice patience. Keep a gratitude journal. Writing down even small things, like a good meal or a kind word, builds the habit of appreciation. Express gratitude out loud. Thank the people around you regularly. Gratitude, when spoken, strengthens relationships and reinforces positive thinking. Anger is a reflex. Gratitude is a choice. The Stoics knew that by focusing on what we can be grateful for, We break free from frustration and cultivate a life of calm and wisdom. 8. See criticism as a tool for growth. Imagine you just completed a project at work. You put in hours of effort, refining every detail, and finally present it with confidence. Then a colleague points out several flaws, some valid, some overly harsh. Your first instinct might be to feel defensive or dismiss their words entirely. But what if, instead of reacting, you paused? What if you separated useful insights from unnecessary negativity and used that feedback to refine your skills? The Stoics believe that criticism, when approached with the right mindset, is not an attack, but an opportunity for growth. Epictetus once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." In other words, criticism only has power over you if you let it. How to use criticism to your advantage. 1. Assess the source. Not all criticism is worth your attention. If the person offering feedback has experience and insight, their words may hold valuable lessons. But if the criticism comes from someone who thrives on negativity or has no understanding of your efforts, it's best to disregard it. 2. Extract the useful, discard the rest. Even harsh or poorly delivered criticism may contain a kernel of truth. Train yourself to filter out the emotional sting and focus on what can be improved. For example, if someone says your work lacks originality, instead of getting offended, ask yourself, is there room for more creativity? 3. Practice detachment. When you internalize every negative comment, you give others control over your emotions. Lao Tzu said, "Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom." True confidence comes from understanding your own strengths and weaknesses. If you know your worth, no amount of criticism can shake you. Practical Stoic approach to criticism. Pause before reacting. Give yourself a moment to analyze the critique objectively. Ask, is this true? If yes, use it to improve. If no, let it go. Maintain inner peace. Others' opinions do not define you. Your response to them does. The way you handle criticism shapes your growth. If you see it as an attack, it will harm you. If you see it as a tool, it will sharpen you. 9. Let go of resentment. Picture this. You were wronged by someone you trusted. Maybe a friend betrayed your confidence, a colleague took credit for your work, or a loved one hurt you in a way you never expected. The anger lingers. The injustice replays in your mind. You tell yourself you're justified in holding on to it, but ask yourself, who is really suffering here? The person who wronged you has likely moved on, while you remain trapped in a cycle of resentment. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Your anger, your bitterness, these are chains you willingly carry. Letting go of resentment isn't about excusing others' actions. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of negativity." Why holding on to anger hurts? Your resentment is a slow poison. It doesn't harm the person who wronged you. It harms you. It steals your peace, distracts you from the present, and clouds your judgment. It's like holding onto a burning coal, expecting the other person to feel the pain. Take the example of a great leader or philosopher, one who faced betrayal, yet chose to rise above it. Instead of seeking revenge or dwelling on the wrongs done to them, they focused on what they could control, their own actions, their own mindset. That is true power. How to let go of resentment. 1. Accept what you cannot change. The past cannot be rewritten. Wishing it were different only deepens the wound. 2. Reframe the narrative. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim, view the experience as a lesson. What did it teach you about trust, expectations, or personal boundaries? 3. Focus on your own peace. Forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about reclaiming your mental freedom. Letting go means refusing to let past wounds dictate your present happiness. A Stoic mindset on resentment. Detach from the past. What's done, it's done. What matters is how you move forward. Take control of your emotions. No one can make you suffer unless you allow them to. Value your peace more than your grudges. Strength isn't holding on to anger. It's choosing to release it. Resentment binds you to the past. Letting go sets you free. 10. Emotional mastery is a daily practice. Imagine you wake up to an angry email from a coworker, get cut off in traffic on the way to work, and then face an unexpected criticism from your boss. By the end of the day, frustration builds up, and you snap at a friend over something trivial. Sound familiar? Most people go through life reacting to their emotions rather than mastering them. But Stoicism teaches us that true strength isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding and directing them. Mastery, not suppression. Many mistake emotional control for emotional suppression. But ignoring emotions doesn't make them disappear. It only buries them deeper, where they can manifest in harmful ways. The Stoic approach is different. Instead of pushing emotions aside, observe them without letting them dictate your actions. Think of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor constantly surrounded by political conflict and betrayal. If he allowed his emotions to control him, every insult, every slight, every moment of frustration would have consumed him. But instead, he practiced self-discipline daily, reminding himself that he controlled his mind, not external events. Daily practices for emotional mastery. 1. Pause before reacting. When faced with an emotional trigger, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter in a week? A moment of reflection can prevent unnecessary conflict. 2. Reframe challenges as lessons. Instead of seeing difficulties as unfair burdens, view them as training for resilience. If someone insults you, see it as a chance to strengthen your composure. If things don't go your way, recognize it as an opportunity to practice patience. 3. Return to the present. Anger and anxiety often stem from dwelling on the past or fearing the future. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from focusing on what is within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your mindset. Living with peace, emotional mastery, isn't achieved in a day. It's built through daily effort. It's about choosing moment by moment to remain calm instead of reactive, focused instead of distracted, resilient instead of fragile. The more you practice, the stronger you become. In the end, the goal isn't to feel nothing, it's to feel everything and still remain in control. Mastering your emotions is not about denying what you feel, it's about choosing how you respond. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us that peace is not found in controlling the world, but in mastering our own minds. Every time you pause before reacting, let go of the need to be right or set firm boundaries. You take one step closer to emotional freedom. In a world full of distractions, criticism, and negativity, the ability to stay calm and unbothered is a rare but powerful skill. Let go of resentment, embrace silence when necessary, and see challenges as opportunities for growth. Remember, no one can take your peace unless you allow them to. If you found value in these Stoic principles, don't keep them to yourself. Apply them, live them, and share them. Let us know in the comments. Which of these lessons resonated with you the most? And if you want to keep building mental resilience and wisdom, be sure to subscribe to Wisdom Vault 365. We explore the timeless teachings of philosophy to help you navigate life with strength and clarity. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay grounded, stay focused, and keep striving for wisdom. See you in the next one.